Hello and welcome back to Daniel Drives, or shall I say Daniel Rides, because in this video we're swapping 4 wheels for 2 as I finally get to do a video on my 1958 vintage Triumph Roadster Cycle. Remember to subscribe to the channel and follow me on social media at DanielCars05. I think really this video is going to be a bit of a weird one because as you can see to my right and all around me actually are millions of sheep, like actually millions of sheep, because I'm in a farmer's field on a public footpath, so this is completely allowed, but there's just sheep all over the place. And just before I started filming, setting up the tripod, I caught one of the sheep actually nibbling away at the leather of the tartan bag on the Triumph. So there we go, that was slightly alarming. That sheep there was just chewing on the leather of my tartan bag. Oh my word. But yeah, if you hear any sheep noises, it's not my belly or anything, it is just sheep, that's what it is. So let's rewind back to May of 2019. Feels a long time ago, doesn't it? Pre-COVID, completely different world. But that's when we actually got this bike. It was a bit of an accidental purchase, like many things, just like the Panda as well, actually. But one late evening, me and my dad were scrolling through Gumtree. Dangerous game, very dangerous, so my mum will know. And we found this for £60 on Gumtree, a 1958 Triumph Roadster. A small slice of British history for £60, yeah. We couldn't really turn that down. We were expecting it to be a bit of a dog, looks-wise. We thought it'd be quite rusty and run down, but we knew it'd be nothing that we couldn't sort out. So we went to go and have a look. Can't remember exactly where it was, I just know it wasn't too far away. Under an hour, put it that way, and it was really good, really good. So we got it really, and I've actually got a picture from the day we went to go and collect the bike, because I made a little pamphlet sheet thing for when I go to steam rallies and shows, which I've only done once because a certain virus happened and stopped that from happening. So on here I'll put some B-roll in so you can have a closer look. I've got a photo of me from May 2019 and then another photo of me looking slightly older in May 2020, and it's also got a description. So shall I read this to you, just give you a bit of an introduction to the bike, which is kind of scripted, so I'm probably going to break out my radio presenter voice here. This British-built bike, built by Raleigh in Nottingham, was made way back in 1958. It was built for postmen, the police, and for people needing to commute around town. The bike was made to last around 100 years, so this is up to 64 years now, so I'll try and get it to 100. They are super robust due to their strong steel frames and brake rods instead of cables. Now they're very temperamental, I'm sure we'll talk about that later. The bike, now over 60 years old, is ticking along as smooth as a Cannondale, almost. This bike is in near original condition with some subtle mods and accessories to make it look even better, like the white walls and the panniers. Whenever I ride it, people smile and compliment it. It's lovely. So there's a bit of a background of this specific bike now. The first owner had it until he was around 80 years old. He had a minor crash back in the early 2000s which led him to sell this magnificent bike. Great adjective by me there. A man then bought it in 2007 and treated it with immense care. I am now its third proud owner, riding, exhibiting, I've only done that once though, and enjoying this tremendous Triumph. Alliteration. My English teacher will be really proud, I'm sure. It's a joy to ride. It's simple and makes you smile. So there we go, there's the little thing. I actually hang it on the handlebars when I go to shows, but I've only been to one, and that was the Anglesey Steam Rally. And I'm sure I've got photos I'll show you. Have you seen this? They're doing it again. They're chewing the leather on the tartan bag. Come on, scupper. They're hungry for leather, it seems. Nice old vintage leather. Yeah. But you can't have it, it's tartan, it's too special. So if you follow me on social media or you've been a regular viewer of this channel for quite a couple of years, then you'll remember back in lockdown 1, about April 2020, I did a small series, I think 2 videos on this bike, on my other YouTube channel I present with my good friend Matthew, All Things Auto, subtle plug. Hello everybody, welcome back to All Things Auto. Today I'm filming on my own, or I say on my own, I'm with my dog Daisy. Daisy, say hello. There's always a surprise with this bike for some reason. Daisy, you're going to have to watch your paw. Here it is then, Triumph Roadster Cycle, built in a factory in Nottingham in the UK in 1958. And I did 2 videos on this bike. So first of all, I did what it's like living with a bicycle from the 50s. And then second of all, I also did a video fitting white wall tyres to my Triumph Roadster.
Hello, welcome back to All Things Auto and welcome to my shed.
There are the tyres. They are rally record white wall tyres. So it's a bit later on the day now. It's now 7 o'clock, I think, just gone 7. And the tyres are done. Here we are then. I'm super happy with them. It's a bit of a faff in the end, trying to get the spindle back into the hub and to get it all adjusted, but there we are. And they're quite funny to look back on because it's back in my very early days of YouTube and I'm a bit awkward behind the camera, let's say. So maybe I'll put some clips in a minute, maybe I won't. It depends how confident I'm feeling in the edit suite, let's say. But yeah, it's interesting to see how this bike has changed over the years visually, because it's changed quite a bit actually, the look of this bike, because obviously you'll see straight away the white wall tyres. They weren't factory, I've got to admit. They're something that I've added, and they're rally tyres as well, made by Rally. They're made in, like, you know, China or something, but they're rally tyres anyway, so they're kind of on brand, because Triumph is a brand that was owned by Rally back in the 50s, as well as BSA. They all made bicycles, not just motorbikes in BSA and Triumph's case. Another thing I've done is added panniers. So beforehand I had black panniers that went down the back of the bike over the rear wheel, and I soon came to the conclusion that they just didn't really fit the bike. Yes, they're very practical from when I nipped to Greg's or something, but they weren't very practical. My dad then got another vintage bike. There's a bit of a theme going on here, and he got a Rally, I can't remember what it is, Rally Gran Turismo from 1965. Lovely red one, with orange wall tyres actually, and it had this tartan bag on the back, and I thought it was too nice and actually looked nicer on my Triumph, so I stole it. Yes, that is me, and put it on the back of the bike. And again, I'll put some B-roll in. It's a lot smaller than the other one, which actually makes it look nicer. It's less practical, but it's green tartan on a green bicycle. What's not to like? Looking around the bike a bit more, another thing I've added is this Brooks leather saddle. Yes, I went Brooks, full leather, brown, which I think really contrasts with the green nicely. Another thing is this Z-Foul pump. Yes, I know it's a modern pump, but it's chrome, so again I think it fits it really nicely. What else have I done? I've got a bell, a bringy bell. That's perfect, isn't it? Not just a standard ding ding, it's a bring bell, as I once read. And also lights front and back that look vintage. Again, I'll have to put B-roll in, but they're actually LED. That's fantastic. And again, one at the rear with another reflector as well. I think it looks great. A lot of the things I've added, yes, it's for the purists, it's going to make them a bit angry maybe because it's not standard from the Nottingham factory, but I think it really adds to the design and just makes it look extra special, because it is a special bike. Yes, it's an absolute dog to ride, but as with most vintage things, they are all a dog to ride or even a dog to drive, but that's what makes them so special. I like this bike because it's so slow and the brakes don't work. I like it for that. I do like it for that. Okay, enough of the aesthetics, let's get technical, or rather not technical at all, because there is no tech on this bike. What it has is a 3-speed Sturmey Archer gear system, which is amazing. It's bulletproof, it really is, especially this one I've got on this bike. It's been looked after, and this is the thing, once you oil the hub, you don't have to do it for another year or so. Maybe you can do it more often, but it's just so bulletproof, it always works. And the beauty of this is you stop at a pair of traffic lights and you're in 3rd gear and you can change to 1st, unlike a derailleur system. And I really like it for that. And also you can cycle it through the rain and you're not having to worry about chains or anything getting mucky, because that's another thing it has, a full chain case with Triumph branded on it. One thing that's not too good is the brakes. I've hinted that before. It's rod brakes, so they really have no power to them at all, especially the rear one. The front wheel needs truing because it's not exactly round, and as you can imagine, that can probably affect braking performance quite drastically. But yeah, they are new old stock pads as well, so they are the pads that go with these bikes, but still the braking power just isn't sufficient at all, and in the rain it's dreadful. In fact, it's deadly. So you'll have to forgive me for putting my coat on. It's slowly getting colder and colder, and my hands feel like they're going to fall off. But what I'm going to do now is actually ride it around this field, so I'm not bumping into any cars or anything, because that wouldn't be very good, and people end up screen recording it and sending it to "You've been framed" or something. I'm not having that. This is not a comedy show, this is serious. So let's just ride it about, and I've got the Bluetooth mic on, so hopefully you can still hear me. Hopefully it won't cut out as well. I can actually talk to you about what it's like to ride with the gears and the brakes and stuff like that. but just bear in mind I'm on grass. Okay, so I'm in the distance, I'm in first gear, and there's a load of sheep watching me whilst chewing grass. It's actually quite weird, but let's set off anyway. First gear is quite high, is the first thing you notice. So when you're on an off-road terrain like I am now, it is a bit tough. I'll do a brake check. It's okay. As I say, the front wheel isn't exactly true, so you get a bit of skidding from the front wheel. The rear wheel just does nothing. There's absolutely no braking performance whatsoever with the rear wheel. I like riding it a lot. I can't get any speed here. But it is just really nice. Especially downhill. Uphill it's a bit of a nightmare because it is very, very, very heavy with the hub gear system, and obviously it's all steel frame as well. But downhill it's lovely. It really ticks along with the hub gears. You've got no brakes to stop you, as I've already mentioned various times, but yeah, that's going to need to be sorted out in future, I think. Yeah, it's not good. So I'm filming this video after I've filmed the actual video, which is this video you're watching now, which is why I'm now in my garage with the Triumph in the garage. And that's because I forgot something. I forgot that on the 1st of February I actually filmed a few minutes of footage basically resurrecting this Triumph, because when we moved to this house in July, August time of last year, it was put up on the hanger in our garage, and then it was buried into the wall with furniture and junk really that's in this garage. And then it wasn't used until February the 1st, when we had a burst pipe at school and we had a day off. Yes. I basically got the Triumph down, gave it a bit of a clean, got the tyres pumped, and basically got it out for the first time, and I forgot that I filmed some footage, so here it is now. So it's the 1st of February 2022, and it's time to wake up the Triumph for the first time since July of 2021. July it was put up there, and then a load of junk was put around it, and it hasn't come down from up there on the rack since last July. So let's get it down and check how good it is. Things are all falling down around me to try and get it down. It is mighty heavy, and also it's I've probably mentioned this already, but it's Sturmey Archer hub gears, 3-speed, and it weighs an absolute bloody ton. Oh, wow, it is really seriously heavy. Down it goes. Wow. I forgot how heavy this thing was, seriously. I don't know what you can see at this point, but the bike is very dusty. Let me show you. So here we are. The Triumph's first exposure to sunlight since July. Oh, it's so unbelievably dusty. It's like a barn find, honestly. It looks so good though. But I mean, look at the saddle. You can actually write your name on the saddle. It's that bad. Proper Brooks leather saddle as well. But I mean, look at that. That is properly dusty. It needs a full dust. But luckily, no cleaning, because obviously it wasn't used over winter. So there we go. There's a perk of it not being used. It also needs some air in the tyres. Some nice fresh air. Now let's give the old beast a bit of a dust. I've got a nice microfiber cloth, brand new from B&Q. I'm just trying to get all of the dust off it. Oh, it's nice to have it back out in the sunshine. It really is. It's just such a magnificent thing, and it's amazing. I love it, and I love riding it as well because people just smile as you ride by. The front tyre has one bar. That's really not good. So there we are. Now it's just time to ride it. So there we are then, my 1958 Triumph Roadster Cycle. I absolutely love it, and I've said this before, I'll say it again right now. I think it's going to stay with me forever. I'd like to get up to 100 years, just like Triumph Rally and BSA wanted the bikes to get up to. 100 years old was their main target, so at 62 years old, how many years is there left? 48 years? No, I can't do maths. There's 38 years left, so 38 years time I'll be middle-aged. So yeah, it'd be nice to keep it that long. Let's see what happens. But I hope you've enjoyed this little downbeat episode of Daniel Drives. If you want more episodes like this, then do let me know down in the comments. And I believe there'll be more two-wheeled content to come. That's another bicycle we have that we've got quite recently, and I hinted it in the last video as well. So I need to do a review on that because that's a lot more modern and completely different to this, but it's still a bicycle. So there we go. Maybe we can incorporate some more two-wheeled content onto this channel. It'd be quite nice to have a bit of variety. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed it, please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. And make sure to check out some of my other videos as well, because there's a lot on there. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you very soon. These are my filming companions today, filming my bike in a random field. And I've got little friends. Hello. Hello, matey. Oh my word. I think we're going to have a sister channel called Daniel's Farm.